With Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes just around the corner, I finally decided to sit down and watch all of the old ape movies because I'm ashamed to admit I've never seen them. Not even the original. The only connection I have with this franchise is the prequel trilogy, which, as a side note, I consider those prequel movies to quite possibly be the most underrated trilogy of all time. Those three movies are insanely good, and no one talks about them. But that's a video for a different day. In the coming days and possibly weeks, I will be reviewing all five of the older ape movies: Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and finally, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. So without further ado, let's just jump into the one that started it all, the 1968 smash hit, Planet of the Apes. So right out the gate, I love how this movie opens. We get the 20th Century Fox stinger, and then we smash cut right into the cockpit of the ship with Taylor already speaking into his personal log. I love a movie that isn't afraid to just start immediately, and to be honest, I wasn't really exactly prepared for it. I wasn't expecting the movie to just instantly kick off and start feeding us exposition. With Suave Taylor smoking a cigar, we learn that the ship has been hurtling through space for months, but in Earth's time, they've been gone for about 200 years. So out the gate, we're already getting into some like interstellar shit, and I love it. Taylor ends up going to hibernation with the rest of his crew until they crash land on a mysterious planet 2,000 Earth years later, and take a wild fucking guess on what they find on this planet. For a G-rated science fiction movie from the late 60s, I wasn't expecting the cinematography to be as trippy as it is. The camera angles that are used in the first section of this film are just wild. It's pretty crystal clear to me that drugs were used in the making of this film, and I totally support it. I love trippy movies, and we don't get very many trippy movies these days. We need more directors on drugs so that we can get more movies filmed like this. I mean, could you imagine if one day Christopher Nolan or Denis Villeneuve got their hands on some acid and made a movie? I mean, shit, shut up and take my money. I will admit the first 30 to 40 minutes of this film are a little slow. It's not necessarily boring, but it's not that exciting either. And some of it is actually pretty comical, like when the movie treats the three men trekking down a rock hill like it's an action scene. It's hilarious. But overall, there's just a lot of scenes of the three astronauts walking down through the wastelands of the planet. But then the plot thickens when they find a waterfall and decide to bro out with their cocks out and go skinny dipping. As the three men frolic around the water, they notice a pair of human footprints in the mud. Then they catch some unknown figures as they steal all of their equipment and clothes and run off into the woods. The three men pursue only to find a community of dirty-ass humans starving for food in an open field. Something in the field makes a loud howl, and the dirty-ass humans start to scatter. Then we get the big reveal. A group of grown apes in clothes ride up on horseback wielding rifles, hunting down the humans. Even though I obviously know about this movie, it's still a pretty dope reveal. Apes on horseback with rifles hunting down humans? It rules. Taylor gets captured and is taken back to the ape community, and this is where the movie gets very, very good. As I said, the first 30 to 40 minutes is a bit slow, but the moment Taylor is captured and taken back, the movie really picks up for me. And to my surprise, the film actually injects more interesting concepts than I thought. Yes, humans in cages getting treated like animals by a bunch of apes is already pretty thought-provoking, but the film is clever enough to actually take it further. These apes have religion, politics, science, and expeditions. What's the most interesting are the characters Zira and Cornelius, who become infatuated by Taylor. Cornelius believes that apes evolved from a more advanced version of humans, but by having this theory, the Ape Council considers this heresy, because it contradicts their founder's teachings. I found this aspect to be a fascinating addition to the movie. The writers could have easily given up on the thought-provoking ideas with just, humans in cages being treated like animals by apes. But they take it further, and I wasn't really expecting it. The last thing I want to point out before we get to the ending is how jaw-dropping these costumes are. This movie was made in 1968, and the ape costumes look flawless. Absolutely fucking flawless. It is just insane that these costumes look as good as they do. Sure, some of the mouth syncing isn't quite right, but overall, these costumes are still incredible. So we get to the ending, and boy, is it a banger. This easily goes down as one of the best twist endings of all time. Now, of course, I know how it ends. We all know how it ends, even if you've never seen it. But it still hits hard, and it's a baller ending. But I even love the stuff that happens before Taylor discovers he's on Earth. There's this great moment where we find out that Dr. Zaius knows that humans ruled the planet long ago, but has to keep it secret in order to protect the ape community. I love that reveal and concept, and I'm wondering where the plot goes from here. Overall, I'm happy I finally sat down to watch Planet of the Apes. As a self-described cinephile, Planet of the Apes was always one of those movies that just slipped past me. But this movie was fantastic and I loved it. The only two complaints I really had with the movie is that I think Charlton Heston was way over the top and didn't quite do it for me. And I also felt like the character of Nova was completely wasted and didn't really do much. Other than that, though, I can see how this is a classic that spawned four more sequels, a remake, and three prequels. It's an idea ripe with stories to tell and a history to explore. I can't wait to jump right into Beneath the Planet of the Apes, so stay tuned for the next review as we continue on our journey into the Planet of the Apes.